Okay, we will give it just one more minute as we have our attendees signing on. All right. We are gonna go ahead and get started. Carolina, we're good on your end? All right. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you all for being here. My name is Enrique Rivera. I am the president and CEO for the Idaho Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to our annual State of the Hispanic Community Address. It's an annual event that we are always excited about, and we have the top information regarding our Hispanic community in the state of Idaho. So we want to welcome everybody. On behalf of our staff, our Director of Programs, Lisa Florensen, and our Administrative Assistant Intern, Carolina Zamudio, we welcome everybody, and thank you for joining and taking time out of your day to be here today. We want to say a special thanks also on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees for the Idaho Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and a special thank you to our sponsors today. We have Cap Ed Credit Union. Thank you for your sponsorship today. We have Select Health. Thank you for your sponsorship today. We have AARP as well. Thank you for your sponsorship today as well. So we want to go ahead and get started. We have a packed agenda, lots of great information. We want to thank all our panelists today that you're going to hear from. Mayor McLean, thank you for being here today from Boise. Mayor Nancolis from the city of Caldwell, Mayor Kling with the city of Nampa, and Mayor Simison with the city of Meridian. Thank you so much for being here. If you recall, last year at our state address, we had city council members from each one of these cities. And we said, well, how are we going to step that up? And we said, I know, we'll bring the mayors in. So thank you, each one of you, for being here today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce the Executive Director with the Idaho Commission on Hispanic Affairs and longtime friend and member of our chamber, Margie Gonzalez. Margie, welcome. Thank you for being here today, and we look forward to hearing your great information that you always share with us every year at this event.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Enrique and the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for the invitation. This is an event that I look forward to as well every year. I commend the Chamber for taking the initiative to continue this opportunity to present on the Hispanic population in Idaho, especially with the crazy times that we're living right now with the pandemic. I'm so glad to hear that you were doing this virtually. So I'm going to present to you, I just want to take a few minutes to provide you a snapshot of the population in Idaho. And please keep in mind that it's a lot of information I'm going to share with you, and it is only a snapshot. So once just a fraction of the population, Hispanics today, we make up 13% of Idaho's total population. And by comparison, you can see the change between 2010 and 2019, which was a little over 30%. Just some highlights I want to give you really quick, because I know I don't have a whole lot of time. 13% of our state's population, 18% of the student population K through 12, 3% of Idaho's public school personnel, 12.5% of the labor force. We are 26% of those without health insurance and 7% of registered voters. The rates are higher among the state's Hispanic children under age 18. We have approximately 29% living in poverty. So this is by far one of our most favorite slides, because it really talks a lot about where we are as the Hispanic population in Idaho in comparison to the non-Hispanic population. And by far is one of my favorite slides, because it really helps us project where we're going to be in the next 5 years. You see that our strongest pocket of population is 25 years and younger. We're the teal blue color. And you'll also see our Hispanic youth under age 5, over 22,000. So Hispanics are concentrated in the southern part of the state, but we live in all 44 counties. Over 70% of our population were born in the United States. 81% are US citizens, and 85% are of Mexican descent. As far as labor force and employment, you see over 80% of Idaho's Hispanics between 20 and 24 years old are in the labor force. This is the highest labor force participation rate for any age group, whether Hispanic or non-Hispanic. This table also talks about, it breaks it down by ethnicity, sex, and age. More than 3/4 of Hispanic males are in the labor force. This is significantly higher share than among non-Hispanic males. And the same is true for females. This is another chart that talks about our unemployment rates by ethnicity in Idaho and comparison to the US. You see that here in Idaho, we have that dark blue, and we're seeing that our unemployment rates have dropped significantly. The employees and self-employment, this is a small share of Idaho's Hispanics is self-employed, 4% in 2018 compared to 8% among the non-Hispanic in the state. This chart talks to us about employer businesses by industry. And again, this is Hispanic-owned businesses. You'll see the dark blue is construction, and that's really not a surprise to many of us. Our buying power, in 2019, Hispanics accounted for 7% of Idaho's total buying power. This was an increase from 2010, when our buying power accounted for 6%. Between 2010 and 2019, our buying power increased at a greater rate than among non-Hispanics. Hispanic buying power as a percentage of total buying power is what this chart is showing us from 2001 to 2019. You see how we continue to build upwards. This chart talks to us a little bit about how we're spending our money. We spend more money eating away from home. Food is a big thing for us. Really, when it comes down to it, we love food. It does show us some red flags about, we're not spending enough in some areas that I wish we were, but this information really just gives you that breakdown, okay? And then again, our buying power by ethnicity here in Idaho, 2010 compare and 2019. It just talks to us about the dollars, the percent, and how much we're spending as comparison to the non-Hispanic. As Idaho's Hispanic population continues to grow, our buying power also grows. And so will the number of the businesses that we own. That expanding Hispanic contribution will continue to add to Idaho's diverse and vibrant economy. Attracting our Hispanic millennial shoppers is key. This is, as we get into these next few slides, so there really sort of some fun facts about our population. Hispanics are the ethnicity group least likely to seek medical attention. Now, this is not true straight across the board, but in my household, we do believe in a lot of these items before we go see the doctor. Caldo de pollo, 7-Up, Vaporru, y té de menta. And again, these next couple of slides are going to be just some fun facts. We always talk about guacamole, aguacates. We've reached a new high. We're off the charts in 2018. The average consumption of aguacates in the US amounted to the average American eats 8 pounds a year. That's a lot of aguacates, right? I know I eat a lot. Okay. And then here, just talking about McDonald's Hispanic marketing budget is in the nation's top 5. It was one of the first American companies to create culturally targeted campaigns for minorities within the US. Another one that is really getting out there is Starbucks, Coffee Mate, and many others. But these are just a few that are really targeting the Hispanic community when it comes to marketing their products. Others, we're spending about 17% more on detergents and soaps and laundry cleaning products. So this goes hand in hand with the fact that we have very large family sizes. And then Taco Bus on every corner. Due to our nation's love of Mexican food, tacos will soon replace hamburgers as the most popular dish. Frito Lay is another one who's coming out with so many snacks to court our Hispanic population. The first Frito came from an old Mexican recipe, and that just means fried. Here's another one, Del Monte. Del Monte is really caters to our Hispanic community. Hispanics are the most digitally savvy groups. 80% of the United States Hispanics internet users are connected to some form of social media. And understanding what Hispanics look for in new products is critical. It's really going to catch our eye when we go through a grocery store, department store, and something that is part of our culture is going to attract our attention. And that is it. I do want to mention that in closing, please contact our office. This event couldn't have come at a better time. We just released the 5th edition of the Profile Data Book yesterday. We did a media conference and we released the report. So this comes at a really good time for the Chamber to be hosting this meeting. I'd like for you to please contact our office for data. We are the clearinghouse on Hispanic data, so we have all of the current data that you might need or want. So I welcome you to do that as well. Thank you so much, Enrique, and thank you, the Chamber.
Thank you, Margie. Once again, great report, great information. I know we could do a whole session just on this report and go into more detail. And so we might bring that back in the future and go into more detail on some of these reports, some of these statistics that are extremely important as our community and the Hispanic population continues to grow in the state of Idaho. Margie, if somebody wants a copy of the report or wants to get more information, are they okay just to reach out to your office or they can reach out to us at the Chamber office?
Yes, and we have both, they can take it off of our website, they can download it off of our website. It is 180 some pages, or we have them on a thumb drive that we can mail them or however they'd like to get that report. But we have it. We have several of those available. Yesterday we had we sent them out to all of the mayors statewide. So I'm hoping that the mayors that are here today were able to get their copy.
Perfect. And we'll have a copy ourselves at the Hispanic Chamber as well. Okay, Margie, thank you so much. Great information like always. And keep eating those avocados. Very good. All right, thank you once again. We're gonna move on with our event today. And next, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce from the city of Caldwell, Mr. Mayor Nancoles. Mayor, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Enrique, it's so nice to be here. It's nice to see you, even if it's virtually. I wish we were able to do this in person. I'm more of a handshake, hug kind of guy, and I really miss that. I think that has a lot to do with building relationships, but it's an honor. Margie, thank you for your information. I really appreciate listening to you. It's nice to know you. And again, for all, it's an honor to be invited to be here today. To my fellow mayors on the call, I look forward to hearing what you have to say, but I'm glad I get to go first. Anyway, as you know, Caldwell has a wonderfully diverse population. Our Hispanic population is now about 35% of the city of Caldwell. And the city of Caldwell, I believe, is now the 5th largest city. And depending on how the census turns out, we may in fact be the fourth largest city in the state of Idaho. When I took office, we were the 16th largest city in the state of Idaho. So we've grown dramatically over the past, especially the past decade. Our population is now about 62,000, as I mentioned. And also in the Caldwell School District, we are now over 50% of the students in the Caldwell School District are Hispanic. And again, so that's a wonderful opportunity for our families and the community to work together to make sure that all families succeed. You know, we believe in the city of Caldwell that the most important unit in society is in fact the family. And we so respect the Hispanic culture and the value you place on families. What a great example the Hispanic community is what family is. We know family gatherings are a big thing within the Hispanic community, and we love hosting Cinco de Mayo. We love having your example of what the value of family is in the city. And because of that, many of our plans, many of our economic development issues, many of our programs are based upon the family succeeding. For example, one of the most recent initiatives that we have undertaken, as you know, is to develop a great and beautiful downtown. The reason we want to do that is because our families want to stay in the city of Caldwell. We want to have opportunities for families to recreate, to eat, to have jobs in the city of Caldwell. And so our downtown has become a destination point. And as you may be aware, there are numerous Hispanic businesses and restaurants in the downtown and the surrounding area. We believe that they have all benefited, as well as all businesses have benefited by the efforts of Caldwell and the Urban Renewal Agency to make downtown Caldwell a destination point. We estimate over 400,000 people visited downtown Caldwell between November 1st, 2020 and January 15th of 2021. Even in COVID, that's a tremendous number of people who are coming to downtown Caldwell to see the city, to ice skate, to be a part of the plaza, the lights, the environment that we've created in downtown Caldwell, and all businesses have benefited because of that. The Urban Renewal Agency is set to sunset, which is good and bad, both. But because of that, some of the programs that we may have had for business incentives, unfortunately, will disappear with that Urban Renewal Agency. However, we believe we've had tremendous success in creating jobs in Caldwell, bringing, shall we say, job opportunities to all of our citizens, good paying jobs, basic sector jobs. If you take a look at another great project of urban renewal was the industrial park at exit 29. Over 3,500 jobs have been created in that area over the past few years. And these are good paying jobs. All the citizens of Caldwell have opportunities to get jobs that now have livable wages where you can afford to buy a home. They come with, most of these jobs have insurance. Most of these jobs come with benefit packages that all of our citizens are benefiting from. And so we believe that by bringing these jobs to the city of Caldwell and also participating in the downtown redevelopment, all of our families are benefiting from that. The average household income in Caldwell has risen from $30,000 per household approximately 10 years ago to slightly over $50,000 per household. That's a big thing for the city of Caldwell. So again, we believe all of our families are benefiting from the jobs, from the economic development in downtown, and from trying to create a destination point where people, we were tired of seeing our citizens, no offense, going to Boise and Meridian and spending their dollars over there. No offense, Mayor McLean and Mayor Simison, and congratulations to Nampa, Boise, and Meridian. You have beautiful cities. And because you have beautiful cities, our citizens were leaving and going to your communities and spending their dollars. Our goal was to not only keep our citizens here, but actually bring some of your citizens over here. The freeway goes both ways, right? And we, for years and decades, have seen all the cars leaving Caldwell and Canyon County, going to Ada County for employment. Well, it's nice to see that we're creating those jobs here because we need those jobs in Canyon County and the city of Caldwell. So I hope you're smiling, Lauren and Robert and Debbie, because it's intended to be jovial. But we have a beautiful valley here. This valley is truly, it's named properly, the Treasure Valley. There are so many treasures here that we can offer to our families. And so this is a wonderful opportunity for us to be a part of this growth that we're seeing. Just real quickly, I want to touch on a couple of programs that we believe are helping all families. And in some cases, we've identified school districts and zones within the city where there are a number of Hispanic families that are underserved. There are some food deserts in the city of Caldwell, and we're trying to address those issues. And unfortunately, some of those things are in largely populated Hispanic areas. So a couple things we have done. We've worked really closely with United Way and with the Caldwell School District to start a community school program within the elementary schools in the city of Caldwell, which helps a lot of students get eye examinations, hearing examinations, health examinations, making sure that they're eating properly, having these counseling opportunities within the schools that may not have been there otherwise. And this is a wonderful program intended to help the students and families progress through the school system so that they are prepared as they enter middle school and beyond. Another thing that we have discovered, and we know that in Caldwell, we had a very high dropout rate in the city of Caldwell if you go back about 10 years. So we concentrated on that, working again with United Way, with the school district, with the YMCA, with the city of Caldwell. And we've created some out-of-school programs that have increased that graduation rate to in the 90%. And again, so if you process that backward, with over 50% of our students are Hispanic students, the graduation rate has increased dramatically for students of all families, but particularly in the Hispanic community, and that's a wonderful thing. So we have targeted out-of-school programs, the opportunity to work together through Mayor's Youth Advisory Council. We've adopted a city youth master plan, which has helped dramatically, partnering with our medical community, with the business community, with the school districts, with the College of Idaho, the Treasure Valley Community College. So we've created some incredible opportunities for students with out-of-school programs, and also making sure that the graduation rate has increased, and then the ongoing rate, the go-on rate has increased dramatically in the city of Caldwell as well. You know, at one time we were only about 25% of our students were going on to college. Now it's in the 65 and 70% of our students. And so when those things happen, everyone benefits. So again, I've tried to, there's so many other things we could talk about, but we are so grateful to be here. And this valley is a wonderful place for families to live, work, and play. We're grateful to be a part of the partnerships that have gone on in our community. The cities of Nampa, Caldwell, Meridian, Boise, we all work extremely well together because we realize this is a regional area that we are intertwined. We have to cooperate. If not, our families suffer. So again, our goal, Enrique and everyone on the call, is we want to make sure that families have every opportunity to succeed. If they succeed, then the cities succeed, the neighborhood succeeds. If they fail, that failure is on us. And so we want to make sure that we're partnering with everyone to make sure that our families in the city of Caldwell have every chance to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Nancoles. Yeah, family, you couldn't end better. Family, familia, right? It's a big word in our culture. So it's all about family. So we appreciate all these you're doing in Caldwell. We appreciate your leadership over there, and look forward to continue working with you and continue to see that growth and beautiful downtown that you have going over there in Caldwell. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are now gonna jump on Highway 84 and go east towards Boise and visit with Mayor McLean. Mayor McLean, thank you for being here today. And the floor is yours. Thank you.
Enrique, thanks so much to you and the Chamber for having me. You know, it's funny, Mayor Nancoles, when he's talking about his downtown and having people come visit Boise, I gotta say, just last night, my husband and I go out once or twice a month to restaurants where we can eat outside still. And I was sitting outside at Camel's Crossing, and the owner mentioned that he's building a restaurant in downtown Caldwell. And next thing I knew, the other couple that was also sitting outside eating dinner and was talking about how much they love downtown Caldwell and the great warehouse spaces that are transitioning into restaurants and other businesses. And then we got to talking about how cool it would be if there was a train that we could jump on, and I would visit Caldwell much more often rather than jumping on that highway. And so the valley really is so connected. And it doesn't end at Caldwell. It goes all the way out to the border. And making sure that we get transit between our communities is incredibly important so that we can do more of that back and forth rather than having everybody heading in one direction only. And I look forward to that day when we're moving about a little bit more and I can get out to downtown Caldwell as well and enjoy everything that's happened out there, because it's really pretty incredible. And thinking about Debbie Kling too, my daughter was born in Nampa, and I've loved in the last 21 years seeing how much Nampa has changed as well. And the Hispanic culture in Canyon County, Ada County has been a big part of that as we've continued to grow, and has really been so central to the value family, providing culture, opportunity, and businesses that we all really enjoy. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows that this valley truly is, as Garrett said, a beautiful place. We're all connected. We're trying to connect more. And the Hispanic community is such an important part of that in each of our cities and counties. From Boise's perspective, you know, I want to talk a little bit about some of the work that we're doing with the Hispanic community, because it's such an important part of our city, but also recognize and finish with what we're doing in general to make sure that we are a city for everyone. Because the things that Boiseans care about, the things Boiseans need are the same, I really think, that the Hispanic Boiseans care about and need and are looking for. And so much of that is about building a life and finding opportunity. But we really enjoyed the opportunity to partner with across this valley and with agencies in the state during the census count. And we learned so much through that activity of making sure that our residents were fully counted as fully as possible about needs in terms of our citizen outreach, so that we could better connect with those that speak a second language, like Spanish, those who are two-language households, those that might be new to the community or been here for a long time, but haven't connected in the same way. And so some of the learnings that we took from that census work is now guiding the actions that we're taking to make sure that we have documents translated, that we have outreach programs designed to get information for those that don't necessarily always engage. And that will, there are many people in this community that are of Hispanic descent. We want to engage with you and hear what you want for your future as we build out programs, policies, make decisions on parks and trees and all these other things. And so it's really important. And we recognize, especially in this last year, I think we've seen even more so how many of our Hispanic residents are on the front lines and have been so impacted by COVID in their workplace, in the work they do, in being out in community. And we've seen in that the inequities that exist in care, access, and then ultimately opportunity. And so really want to learn from the experience of the last year and figure out how we can best address some of those inequities moving forward for this very important part of our community. But in general, we really do believe that all of us are here because we love this place. We believe it's a community where we can build a family and find the opportunities that make it possible to thrive. And so as we're working to recover from COVID, to ensure that we're a community from everyone, the things that our city focuses on, I believe we need to hear from the Hispanic community, but also are things the Hispanic community is expecting us to focus on. And that is access to affordable housing. And so in the last year in particular, we've launched a housing land trust, and we've put out proposals asking developers to come to us with solutions in exchange for the land to provide houses at Boise budgets. We have worked with the school district to ensure that our community schools and this, that the school district has and the community centers that we help support remained open during COVID particularly for frontline workers, others who didn't have the choice to work from home, but instead had to go to work and to take care of their kids while they were off working and taking care of us. And we are just recently passed a housing bonus ordinance where we will negotiate with builders of homes for things they want in exchange for things we want, which is a certain number of units at Boise budgets, because we've got to find homes for folks that are working in Boise so that they can live in Boise rather than having to jump on that highway and make the longer commute, and ideally live closer to family that's in Boise as well. And then from a parks perspective, this is as we are looking at how we make investments in parks, but also address the impacts of climate, like hotter days. We want to make sure that we're investing, and I think Garrett brought this up, in all neighborhoods in an equitable way. And so we'll be taking some steps actually to do an assessment of where we need more trees, where we need more reimagined parks and open spaces so kids and families have access to the outdoors where they can convene with others safely, which is particularly important right now as we've had to reimagine how we gather and live to protect our health. And as we are addressing the real world impacts of needing to plant trees so that we can have cooler neighborhoods, making sure that we set aside parks and open spaces, and even ideally get easements along canals so people can walk from neighborhood to neighborhood. Recognize that all of that is centered around the impacts of climate and making sure that we are a place to live that provides safe neighborhoods, healthy air, clean water, and an economy of the future. And so as we're making economic recovery investments, we are looking to taking advantage of a transition to clean energy, which will include supporting residents who are seeking ways to make their homes more energy efficient. It'll include transitioning to electricity wherever we can, but that we create jobs from that through the innovations that we need to meet the goals that we have as a city. And then finally, I started with transportation, but I'm going to end there too, because is it Debbie that? No, it's Robert that's next in Meridian. We all want to link in different ways, and we want your families to be able to link to each other and to jobs in different ways, so you're not spending so much time in traffic and congestion. And so while during COVID, we know that people had concerns about jumping on a bus, but thousands of people in this region are served by the bus system that we have, and we need to do more and better so that we can connect our residents, your community, with new opportunities. And transit often is a barrier to that. And so working not only to address mobility within our own city, such as like creating opportunities to move along canals if you want to walk or bike, investing in bus service within our own community, but then really looking to how we take advantage of federal investments in infrastructure and recovery dollars to better connect our community's transportation. And so that will be a large priority of ours in the coming year. And we believe by doing all those things, always focusing on family, protecting people's health with the steps that we've taken in partnership with so many of you, we'll actually be able to recover in a much more stronger and resilient way than otherwise. And so really appreciate the partnerships we have with so many of you, the opportunity to talk today, and of course, the relationships that we share across the valley and the love for this place that really unites us. Thanks so much for allowing me to be here today.
Thank you so much, Mayor McLean. We appreciate the update. We have enjoyed the partnership with the city of Boise with our some of our events that we do throughout the year, including our Latino Fest, which brings in over 5,000 attendees, and it just keeps growing every year. So we appreciate that continued partnership with the city of Boise. So thank you so much for the updates. We, we have, several Hispanic-owned small businesses in our chamber that have a business in all 4 of your cities, and are looking to expand and grow. So we appreciate the information you're sharing with us today for them as well, and our community. So we're gonna, for now, since we don't have that train yet, we're gonna jump back on the highway, go through the connector, and go over to the city where I'm a proud resident of, the city of Meridian, with Mayor Simpson. So, Mayor.
Thank you, Enrique, and it's a pleasure to be here today. And one of the benefits of going third is you get a flavor for what's been said, but you're not fourth, so not everyone can take everything that you were going to talk about from that standpoint. But I'm going to build upon a little bit of what others have said, and also talk a little about opportunity that you just mentioned from that standpoint. But in Meridian, we do pride ourselves on our goals to be the premier place to live, work, and raise a family. Family is what is really about us. And I've taken the word family and really applied it in many different ways on what we are trying to do. And it's really been highlighted by the other mayors. I think we all have a lot of the same goals, and even for Meridian, where we're next to Boise, it's still a commute, it still clogs up the interstate, but how do we disrupt our transportation flow, our traffic flow here in the valley, and get people to live and work closer to, that helps solves a lot of our issues, but it also has, as was said, it allows people to spend more time at home, whether it's with their immediate family or their neighborhood, that can create a family. That's what we're really trying to accomplish here in our community, is by bringing more jobs to our community. It gives people more opportunity to live, work, and it can reduce those costs related to whatever people spend their money or their time on. So just wanted to spend a few minutes and talk about opportunity in Meridian. What does that look like? What does that feel like currently, and what we're seeing? I'm always a little hesitant because we've had some turnover at the Department of Labor with some of the people we used to get data from. But what we were told in this last year, that we added over 3,000 jobs in Meridian during COVID year, during 2020, and netted 500 businesses in our community. Now, that's not surprising based upon the amount of people that we still saw moving to our area. And we're really seeing growth in 3 primary parts of our community. So this is the opportunity for those that are looking in the Hispanic Chamber to maybe, where do I want to go to try and place a business in Meridian? Well, Northwest Meridian is up around the new Hawaii High School out there in that part of our community. It is rapidly growing. A lot of residential rooftops, a lot of commercial opportunities up in there, along with great new infrastructure improvements that have been put in along Highway 26, Chinden, 10 Mile, and others coming along that area. Hopefully Highway 16 eventually, but we've at least got to get Highway 26 built nicely first before that's done, those 5 lanes. We're also seeing a lot of growth and development in Southeast Meridian, down kind of in that corner as we head over towards where Boise and Meridian come together, south of Eagle Road. A lot of rooftops, a lot of planning that's being done in that area, and really a lot of our business opportunities kind of stop about Overland. So there's a good couple miles down in that area that is a great opportunity for businesses that are looking, to expand or maybe create their first opportunity in our community, and then our downtown. And we're really trying to steal a little bit of downtown ideas from everybody. We're talking a little bit about maybe a little 8th Street that Boise has. Maybe how can we daylight our irrigation canal to create a little Indian Creek, right there in downtown Meridian. But we've got several development projects that, have been a decade in the making. Moving forward, we've had some property that was held by the Union Pacific Railroad that has transitioned to private ownership. And so here in about, a 2-block area, we've got about 500 residential units that are going to be going up. About 100 of them are under construction actively. The other 350, the land was just cleared and they should be moving forward soon. So our downtown is going to be a brand new opportunity for businesses to locate. We've had a lot of investment even from businesses that have seen that vision. They try to get in early, but there's still plenty of opportunities for others. So, from a practical standpoint, we don't have a business registry. We don't track the data, but I understand we've got about 24 Hispanic businesses in our community. As of the last census, we're about 7% of the population was Hispanic. We'll see where the 2020 census puts us, but I would love to see those numbers grow on both sides of it. Would love to see a greater Hispanic chamber, Hispanic owned business engagement in our community. And so the question is, well, how do we really do that? Well, as a city, we got to make sure that everyone understands that we are a welcoming city, that we value those that come and invest in our community, and we're going to support those that come into our community. Now, whether that means opening doors that may not have been open in the past, helping provide access to capital if it needs to make those connections, that's what we can do as a city. So, I would implore, if there's anybody out there listening that's been saying, I want to move to open a business in Meridian, reach out to my office. We'll be happy to have a conversation, whether it's with our economic development team or others in the community where we know there is opportunity, because that's what we really want. We want to bring services. As much as I want everyone to, go to Caldwell and walk along Indian Creek and eat one of those great restaurants, eventually that interstate is going to get full, and so we're going to need to have something somewhere Meridian, so you don't have to take the interstate going that direction to Caldwell all the time to have those experiences. So that's really, kind of the direction we are going from our community. Is there's a lot of opportunity in Meridian for people to live, for new businesses to grow, and be part of the diverse network of cities in the Treasure Valley, because we all have our own unique feel, our own unique flavor, but we are all connected, and we do need whatever type of transportation connections that needs to be, whether it's rail, whether it's roads, whether it's a river. No one's really talked about putting river boats on the Boise River and seeing where we can go, but hey, that's an option too. We can all explore everything to get people moving around. Just a couple of quick notes, just to give you some flavor. 2020 did not slow us down. Just the last 3 months of 2020, we had 89.1 million in commercial value activity. That was compared to 48.7 million in commercial activity over that same 3-month period in 2019. We see what's on the horizon with even some of the, what I have to call infill development projects at Eagle and Overland are right at 10 Mile. Those aren't in those 2 growth areas I talked about, but those are two large developments that are going in. You know, even the word Topgolf is actively being mentioned. So, you know, retail entertainment opportunities, and our businesses, our business park developers are continuing to building spec office buildings for people that are moving in. I just was on the BOMA conference before this, listening to kind of what was going on in the commercial area, and they are still bullish on our area. And so there will be a lot of opportunities here in the Treasure Valley. I'll just kind of stop from that standpoint and saying, you know, Meridian wants to be a welcoming community. We want to create relationships where maybe they haven't existed in the past, so that we can provide access and opportunity for people. You know, we are a community of faith and family in Meridian. I think that's true for most of our communities, and that all has a huge connection to not just the Hispanic culture, but I think to, you know, those that are attracted to our area, but it's definitely one that we value and want to support. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mayor Simonson. We appreciate the update. We love seeing the growth there in Meridian as well. I can tell you we are currently working with a couple businesses that are looking to open a Hispanic business in Meridian. So we will refer them to your office as well, and keep working with them as they're looking for a place there to open up.
Perfect. Thank you, Enrique.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here today. Now we're gonna get back on the highway and go to the city of Nampa, where we've been blessed and to have our Hispanic Chamber offices there in the city of Nampa. I've been very welcome there, and to see the growth. I personally work in Nampa and do a lot of volunteer work with the community. But Mayor Kling, welcome, and thank you for being here today.
Enrique, thank you so much. It's great to see you, and I've so appreciated our relationship with you over the years, and the companies that you've worked with and the work that you're doing. So thank you. Thank you to the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for hosting us today, and for inviting the mayors to come together. And I just have loved listening to my fellow mayors. I have such a high regard for each one of them. And, you know, we learn from one another. I learn from them. I love the work that is being done across the Treasure Valley, and we truly are blessed to get to live where we get to live. So today, as I've listened, you know, what I've listened to is the talk about family, faith, jobs, educational opportunities for everyone. And it is so critically important. Today, I'm going to go a little bit different route in what I share, and I'm going to share some screens in just a second. But first, I'm going to tell you a story that came to my mind as I was listening. This morning, I was visiting Sherman Elementary School, a little second grade class, and I love seeing the children. And one of the little girls I met as we were serving them breakfast, her fellow student said, well, she doesn't speak English. And so another gal interpreted. And so I didn't get to talk to her. And as I was sitting here, I was reminded at our city council meeting recently, we honored a gal whose name was Diana Hernandez Rivera. And she shared her story about when she moved to Nampa as a child. And she said she felt like she was deaf and blind because she didn't speak English. And she went to school every day, and she could not read the writing on the board, and she could not understand what was being said, and how incredibly difficult it was for her. And so Diana, as we honored her, she lived over by NNU, and she would see that, and she said, Dad, I want to go there someday. And her dad said, no, no, no. And he said, that's not a school. He thought it was a church. And then as she got older, she said, Dad, no, that is a school, and I want to go there someday. And she recently graduated, I think it was in the spring, with her master's degree in education. And she accomplished her dream. And she's now a school teacher in Middleton, I believe. And as I thought of this little girl that I met today in second grade that doesn't speak any English, and I'm sure she doesn't read it, what she feels like as she is integrating into our community. And you know, 25% of our population base is Hispanic, and they're so important to us. And these kids are the future of our community. So I loved thinking, I am so glad that I got to meet Diana and hear her story, because it inspires me to think about what we can accomplish. But it takes us all working together, and that's what community is about. And so I want to say, for me personally, before I became mayor, I was president of our Chamber of Commerce, and at that time began working with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And that's where I began building some of these relationships. Because for me, and I'll say it probably at the end again, it's about we. Our community is about us. It's not about them and us, it's we together. And so I have loved the opportunity as we began forging that relationship. And Enrique was a very key part of that at the time that we did. And Enrique still serves on the Nampa Chamber of Commerce board, which we greatly appreciate. So going back over the year 2020, though, and as much as we want to leave COVID behind, I'm going to talk a little bit about COVID. But first, and I am going to share my screen. So I'm going to put this up and hopefully you guys can see it. So I will start by saying 2020 was our census. And so in working with our Hispanic community, it began with the census. And thinking about how do we reach our Hispanic community and how do we get an accurate census count? And so Amy Bowman, who's my communications manager, was driving that initiative. And as we moved into COVID, it caused us to move into the next initiative when we were thinking about, let me see if I can get my screen to roll down here. Underneath Amy's leadership, she helped form the Hispanic Latino Task Force. And I'm hoping everyone can see my screen. And it really came out of the desire to create some PSAs in Spanish. And we realized whether it was for the census or for COVID, we really needed to do that. And the task force, what happened was that task force grew so quickly with a lot of individuals and organizations that leaned in. And I think that's such a key concept in our communities, and that is that we have to lean in. And now it's a Treasure Valley-wide partnership with multiple entities, which you can see on this slide, that have been able to accomplish a lot in a very short period of time. And as I said, it takes us all coming together to do so. So the task force started meeting back in August. And one of the things that we learned was what is the best way to communicate? And it was really communicating through trusted sources, which was schools, the faith community, businesses and employers, and through our health partners as we looked to reach out to them. And one of the other great things that came out of COVID was, and this is our Nampa Ready, but it's Nampa Preparado. I can't say it correctly, so I just totally messed that up. It's our Nampa Ready, which is our emergency response team, and that's what we call it. Anyway, we also, excuse me, let me see if I can. Okay, next slide. One of the things the first things that the task force did was collaborate with the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare and Capital Distributing out of Caldwell. And they created bilingual COVID-related materials, which was awesome because you need two things. One, you have to have trusted sources, whether it's through your business as an employer, whether it's through your faith community, your church, or friends and family. We had to have tools that they could actually read and see. And so, which was wonderful. And then another thing that happened out of it, and Enrique was a part of this, the city of Nampa and the task force partnered together to hold an event in September that was a virtual event to help educate and grow the awareness of the effects of the coronavirus on business, on health, on education and faith. And it was emceed by Enrique, but it was so important to be able to produce something in Spanish and to reach out to our Spanish-speaking community because all businesses are important, right? Everyone's health is important. And so it was really a great collaborative effort. And during the event, we had printed materials for the attendees and the businesses to take back, and a large supply of face masks were available to the businesses, and the Idaho Hispanic Chamber of Commerce still has those materials available for the businesses. And then, thanks to Southwest District Health in Canyon County, a video series was put together, which was as to parte, or do your part, was created to encourage everyone to do their part to slow the spread of the coronavirus. And so, you know what, we have worked hard to bring individuals together, and it takes everyone working together. And I tell you what, Marie here that's pictured has played a key role in our community in reaching out to the Hispanic community. Lupe Whistle, which you'll hear, she's the Idaho State Director for Aarp, recently spoke to this group. And I tell you what, it's amazing and I love the concept of the power of one, but it's the power of one again and again and again that comes together. Maurice shared her personal story of COVID, but they did some radio advertisements and got great media coverage. And so it was, you know what, it was great. And then Southwest District Health helped create some great bilingual resource guides that are there. So, but as I close, and I'll stop sharing my screen here. There we go. I would just like to say, you know what, it's all about community. And as I said earlier, it's about we. It's the business community, it's the nonprofit community, it's the individuals. It's about families, right, and individuals that step up and make a difference. And as I look at the sponsors, I think about CapEd that I've had the privilege of working with, and Select Health and Aarp, the sponsors of today's meeting. It's thank you to all of you, because it is we, and it's us coming together that make a difference. The Hispanic community is a vital part of the Nampa community. And I look forward to continuing to work together with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce to support our businesses and our families. And our goal in Nampa is to be a safe and healthy community where people prosper, and that's all people. So anyway, we're at it. And today I didn't talk as much about what we're doing as a community on the economic development side, that maybe more about what we're doing to help support the Hispanic community in our community. And anyway, but thank you to all the other mayors and the work they do, to the sponsors, and thank you for having us today.
Thank you so much, Mayor Kling. Appreciate the updates, and appreciate the task force that was formed. The Hispanic Chamber is a part of that task force, and it's been great. It's been great to work and great to reach out. We do have just a few minutes. Unfortunately, we don't have too much time for Q&A. Some questions that are coming through, we will forward to your offices pertaining to your city. We will make sure to get those questions forwarded to your office. But one question we do have, and we'll kind of let anybody jump in when they want to answer, is with the Hispanic Chamber, you know, in helping businesses, Hispanic businesses, and including community, the Hispanic community, as it grows, and as Margie explained, you know, it keeps growing year over year, the population and the Hispanic community here in Idaho. Is one thing that we always get asked is the resources, right? Where can we go, and is there somebody there that maybe is able to speak Spanish or translate or help us? In the Hispanic community is all about not just familia, right, family, but also trust, right, building that trust. So I would like to give you guys the opportunity to speak about what initiatives or what you guys are doing in your city to be able to produce more resources and have more maybe bilingual presence in your city services and your city offices, you know, a police department, fire department, even the, you know, council. But I'll let you guys speak to that because that's one of the main questions we continue to get asked.
Well, I might just go there real quickly and I'll stay short, but we do have a Hispanic, Victor Rodriguez, on our city council, and I am thankful for that because he helps us maintain perspective. And so because of these initiatives that I was just talking about, we are working diligently when we have initiatives in the city to ensure that we have a Spanish presence, and that we have someone that can translate and make sure we get it right? Because it's kind of embarrassing when you don't. And so that is a priority for us in the city of Nampa. And, you know, we are still wanting to grow Hispanic presence on our police force. It's not as easy as one would think because you have to have available. But I think working with our school districts to get people, while they're in school through the CTE programs or whatever program to really inspire our Hispanic community to want to go into the career of being a firefighter or a police officer is certainly an area that we can focus on. So we are committed and we're working there. We're not there 100%, but we're working on it.
So I'll jump in. You know, we've got a couple of things going on right now. First of all, I touched on it just slightly, but I'll bring it up again. Just recently working with council, we passed a resolution that made clear our intent to build out a language access program. And so what that does is not only with Spanish, but it determines what other languages are needed and at what percentage population we have those residents in our community to then make sure that we've got the right people on hand and the right documents translated and available. So it's not just translation services that we want to provide or documents that we want to translate, but we're also determining how we best engage in Spanish language community, Spanish speaking community. So if the chamber or others have suggestions, we want to hear it because we're working on those plans right now. From a workforce perspective, I shot a quick text of our police chief because I have a feeling he knows the exact percentage of members of our police force that are Hispanic. And the police department at Boise is one of the most diverse departments of all our departments in the city. And many of our police officers come from the Hispanic or Latinx community. I'd love to be able to share that number with you right now, but he hasn't gotten back to me. And we have the same intent as we've seen it pan out almost naturally. So we need to do more within the police department as well to recruit a continually diverse and reflective workforce. But we've seen that happen in some ways on its own in the police department. But we know we need to do the same in the fire department and across the board at Boise. And so our fire chief actually right now is looking through and working on a plan to increase diversity among their ranks of firefighters. And then as a city, we're doing the same thing to make sure that we are a welcoming and then importantly supportive culture. So we can not only recruit, but retain these great folks in our employee ranks when we welcome them here. And then I did want to mention also with the police department, we have a Hispanic liaison officer, and that's Ed Moreno. And he's very engaged in the community, but it's been intentional as a city that we have liaison officers to different communities and particularly communities of color within our city so that we can hear directly from them the needs that they have, but importantly, build trust between our department, our city, and in this case, the Hispanic community with Ed Moreno.
Enrique, if I could just add on, you know, from our community standpoint, I know we've always had a focus on that customer focus touch point to make sure we had people that could communicate effectively in Spanish with people. But I think it's really, as we continue to see an evolution in our community, is working together on what those needs for our community might look like. You know, we are not going to be the experts. We're going to need to hear from the community about what that need is and where it might be lacking. So we are trying to be very diligent about that. You know, didn't have a space for him on our arts commission, but we had someone from the Latin community reach out and want to get involved in our arts. You know, and it's having that type of connections to the different parts of our community that is really going to allow us to flourish and for those opportunities. So we're open and we're happy to sit down and have those conversations so that Meridian has what it needs for its residents.
Enrique, I'll just finish up and say that the city of Caldwell, as I mentioned earlier, has a very diverse population, and our workforce reflects that. I don't know exact the numbers within our different departments, but we really emphasize the ability to have staff that is Spanish speaking, bilingual. We have the great resource with our Youth Master Plan Task Force, and so we want to make sure that we have the ability to communicate with all of our citizens and make sure that they feel like they have the ability to communicate with us as well. So I just wanted to mention that I really believe, I don't know the numbers like Mayor McLean and Mayor Simpson said, but we do have our workforce is reflective of the diversity of the city of Caldwell.
Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate your feedback. I know that goes a long way for all our small business membership base and our community base as well, to hear that from each and every one of you. I also want to touch point and appreciate everything you guys are doing for our youth. One thing in our Hispanic chamber, we try to encourage our youth to get more involved and develop our youth. And I know most of you have a mayor's youth group or some kind of group that gets together. I know my daughter's part of the MIAC group in Meridian, and she really enjoys her time there and developing there. But youth, we partner with Idaho Latino Scholarship Foundation, as well as we develop our up and coming young individuals and grow them into leadership roles as well. So we appreciate everything you guys are doing on that front as well. So once again, thank you to all the mayors that were with us today. Thank you for your time. Unfortunately, we don't have much time to keep going with more questions and more information, but we truly appreciate it. Diversity is great to see here in Idaho and the Treasure Valley, and to continue to see its growth. So we appreciate everything you guys are doing on behalf of everybody here. So thank you so much. We are gonna, yeah, you bet. Yeah, networking and connections are great, and we see more and more platforms. I have a good friend in Eastern Idaho that just created a platform called Conectate to be able to bring information in Spanish as well. So more to come on that as well as we continue to work together with our Hispanic Foundation and the Women's Business Center and creating more platforms to bring information. The task force in Napa, great example of a form of connecting as well. So we continue to hope to do that. We'll continue to gather data and information and feedback from our Hispanic small business and community and share that with your offices, so you guys can also get information straight from the source of what is needed or what resources are needed out there in your cities. So thank you again. We appreciate the partnership with every single one of you, and continue to look forward to working with you as we keep going forward. Thank you so much. We're gonna move on and go with the rest of our agenda with our sponsors. Once again, I wanna recap our sponsors today. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. But we have CapEd Credit Union, Select Health, Salter Health, Intermountain Healthcare, and AARP. And with that, I would like to welcome our Senior Vice President of Advancement and Member Experience, Todd Christensen, with CapEd Credit Union. Todd.
Thank you, Enrique. We appreciate the opportunity to be here this afternoon. Thank you to the mayors. Mayor Kling, we started as Boise Teachers Federal Credit Union, so our roots are deep in Boise. So we appreciate the name Boise. We have locations in Nampa, as well as we're headquartered in Meridian. And Mayor Nicholas, you're on our roadmap, so we're headed out that direction as well. So we're very proud to be a part of the great state of Idaho, and especially the Treasure Valley as it continues to grow and blossom. So our appreciation to the mayors for your liderazgo y dedicación, for your leadership and your dedication to our community and to each one of your communities as we continue to grow and develop. For us at CapEd, we have three major tenets within our mission and vision statement, and they're around the economic well-being and empowerment of our members and individuals in our community, promotion and supporting quality education, and then the enrichment of individuals and communities. And I just want to talk about a few things that we're doing through and with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce on those areas. First, we launched with Rancho Radio and with La Grande, a program called Asesores de Confianza, or Trusted Advisors, where it provides us an opportunity not only as a financial institution, but our community partners to speak directly to the Hispanic community. We've had topics ranging from money management, how to build your credit, how to manage your credit, and then also engaging in community partners such as Idaho Public TV to share, especially during the pandemic, the resources that are available to families and children. And so we're very, very proud of that partnership with the Idaho Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, with Rancho Radio, and with the radio stations, La Grande primarily, but also with La Poderosa. And I want to express our appreciation from CapEd to Elena Beza. She is one of our business development specialists, and she leads that charge. So you can hear her, as well as Enrique and others, Wednesday mornings from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on La Poderosa. So we'd encourage you to tune in and listen to that great content and the way that we're working to communicate to the Hispanic community and engaging with the Hispanic community. The mayors, you all chatted about what you're doing inside of your cities within your staffing with your employment base to be able to be inclusive and seek out that diversity, equity, and inclusion. We at CapEd are similar. We have established for the last 2 years a group called the Unidos Committee, the United Committee. We have many members of those individuals who have joined us in this meeting today. I want to give a special shout out to our chair of that committee, Maria Garcia Ortiz. She is heavily engaged in the community through our Treasury Management Department and being able to lead the Unidos Committee to help us achieve a greater understanding culturally to develop our capacity to serve the Hispanic community with language barriers being removed by our staff, intentionally looking for those individuals with bilingual capacity, both in Spanish as well as in other prominent languages spoken in the area. And so our appreciation to the Unidos Committee and my appreciation to them who have joined us today for their work to help promote and strengthen CapEd, especially in the Hispanic community. We talked about families and young children. And thank you, Mary Clean, we appreciate your reference and statement as it relates to the work that we've done within the school districts, as well as out in Caldwell with Caldwell, Cuna, Boise, West Ada, Nampa school districts. We're heavily engaged in all of the early learning collaboratives, not only financially, but also dedication of volunteer time to make sure that our youngest individuals in our communities have that head start and have that opportunity to not only be ready for education, but ready for education for life. Several years ago, we engaged with the Caldwell School District through the United Way of Treasure Valley because we saw that less than 2/3 of the young children were ready for school. And in the last 4 to 5 years, we've been able to move that from 2/3 not being ready for school and ready for learning to now over 2/3 are ready to learn and have a success throughout their entire life. So let me end with a couple of elements where we're focusing as we move forward. Developing products and services that are specific to the Latino community, and how can we assist them? We understand that there's elements around immigration and the financial resources needed to accomplish that. So we're exploring those opportunities. We're exploring and rolling out opportunities to assist those in the Hispanic community that need lending but don't yet have a full Social Security number, to be able to assist them in lending and credit through an ITIN. So those are the things that we're working on. One last item that I'd mention, with great appreciation to Elena, we've gone through and have translated large portions of our website, and we'll be rolling that out in the coming weeks, as well as other resources around how to help individuals understand and manage their money. We appreciate the Idaho Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. It's through our engagement with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce that we gain a better understanding of how we can engage and serve the Hispanic community, and that has also brought to us a board member. And we express our appreciation to Liz Correa, who serves on the Hispanic Chamber Board and the Board of Directors with CapEd Credit Union, to make sure that we have a deeper understanding on how we can serve the Hispanic community. But our appreciation to the Hispanic community, Enrique, for your leadership and for all that you do, and for the opportunity to sponsor today. And we hope everybody has a great afternoon. Thanks, Enrique.
Thank you so much, Todd. We are grateful for the partnership with you and throughout the years, and for our Asesores de Confianza partnership on the radio. That's 100% in Spanish, actually, on every other Wednesday on the radio between 7 and 8 a.m. So tune into that also for updates and information. Great information there. So thanks once again, Todd. Thank you, and thanks to CapEd.
It's been great to be able to dust off my Spanish and be on air every once in a while. So
that's right. No, you're doing a great job. Thank you once again, CapEd, for your sponsorship. Up next, we have Select Health, which we built a great partnership with as well, with Select Health, Tom Allred, with John Larkin and others. So thank you so much. Tom, go ahead.
Thank you. Appreciate being here today. My name's Tom Allred. I'm with Select Health. Estoy muy emocionado de estar aquí con todos ustedes. Estamos muy felices por ser parte del Idaho Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Quisiéramos estar juntos con ustedes, pero aquí estamos por la pandemia, hablando por la computadora. Yo quiero tomar un poquito de tiempo y explicarles acerca de Select Health. La misión de Select Health es ayudar a la gente a vivir una vida lo más saludable que sea posible. Cumplimos con esta misión de muchas maneras. Primeramente, trabajamos muy de cerca con nuestros compañeros clínicos. De esta manera, creemos que no solamente estamos pagando por servicios médicos, sino a fin de cuentas estamos creando una comunidad que va a ser más saludable. Nosotros proporcionamos acceso médico a nuestros compañeros médicos. En el suroeste utilizamos a St. Luke's. También estamos integrados con Salzer Medical Group. De hecho, compartimos la misma empresa matriz, Intermountain Healthcare, tal como el hospital en Burley, Cash Memorial Medical Center. También trabajamos con West Valley Medical Center en Caldwell y Eastern Idaho Regional Medical Center en Idaho Falls. También proporcionamos acceso médico a nivel nacional. Select Health dedica recursos a la comunidad por medio de un programa que se llama Select Health Awards. Este programa nos da la oportunidad de dar $3,000 a 20 compañías alrededor de Idaho que están proveyendo servicios a la comunidad que coincide a nuestra misión. Realmente Select Health quiere mejorar el acceso para el ciudad de su salud, el cuidado de su salud. Hay representantes de servicio al cliente que hablan español mucho mejor que yo. Ahora me cuesta hablar español bien y claramente. Y también tenemos materiales disponibles en español. En algunas ocasiones podemos ayudarles a encontrar proveedores de servicios médicos que hablen español. Estamos aquí para ayudar a ustedes y tenemos planes de salud para sus necesidades. Gracias por su tiempo y esperamos tener oportunidades futuras para conectar con ustedes y sus comunidades. Really, thank you so much for your time. It really is an honor to be here and to be able to speak with you today. Hopefully I didn't butcher things too bad with my Spanish. It's been a while. But thank you so much. We are really honored to be a part of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Cuídense.
Tom, thank you so much. That was your Spanish was great, by the way.
Thank you.
That was our hidden treasure today. That was a surprise, but so thank you. That's extremely important. So thank you for that. Thank you for the message. Thank you for the sponsorship today and for the partnership more than anything, right? As we move forward, health is huge in our community. So we hope to continue to partner with you and bring in more education and information on
Perfect.
health.
We look forward to opportunities. Thank you so much.
So, gracias, Tom.
Sí, de nada, cuídense.
Now we'll go to our next sponsor, AARP, and we are blessed to have today longtime partners too, by the way, with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and the community. They do so much. It's an honor to have a state director for AARP in the state of Idaho, Lupe Whistle. Lupe has been a long-time champion of the community and a champion of the chamber. And so, Lupe, it's an honor. Thank you for being here.
Enrique, thank you so much. And honestly, thank you for the invitation as well. You know, I want to thank the Chamber also for holding this event, even though under this certain current circumstances, you know, but I think bringing us together is extremely important. So thank you. AARP, many of you may know, we are the largest membership organization representing people 50 and older. And, you know, our membership nationwide, we're at about 36 million, or over 36 million members. Here in the state, we have over 186,000 members. So, you know, when we talk about what we do, AARP focuses on three overarching issues, which are, I call them health, wealth, and self. And actually, I call it salud, dinero, y amor. You know, so health, we've been really involved with that, especially last year and this year. And but what I want to focus my comments on today is on the wealth piece, which is financial security. And I'm going to share my screen here with you. if I may, and if I can find it here now. Oh, well, I want to share my screen with you, but I can't. Wow, it was ready to go, and for some reason it's not there. I am so sorry. Something went wrong here with the with my presentation. Well, then I'll just have to talk about it because this is not going to help me any. There it is. All right. Can you see that now?
It's coming on now, Lupe. There you go. We can see it now.
Taking a little longer, so you can see the screen okay. All right, so you know, Enrique, what I wanted to focus today on is, of course, our wealth piece. You know, for many years, we've been concerned with people not having enough money to retire. And by that, I am not talking about having money to travel, entertainment, hobbies, or any of those things that we all talk about when we retire. I'm talking about just merely enough money to survive. And so that's why we are putting more focus on this this year. I think the pandemic has shown how vital it is for Americans to have savings to depend on. And when you look at the fact that nearly half of American workers, that's about 55 million, do not have any way to save, you know, for retirement through their workplace. And here in Idaho, it's 375,000 Idaho workers that do not have access to a retirement savings plan at work. That's about 60%. So, you know, you also look at the fact that the average household retirement account is about 2,500. And then the average household that is near retirement, these are the folks that are already, they're submitting their retirement forms. You know, they only have about 14,500 in savings for retirement. Of course, they think that they're going to live on Social Security, and you know, Social Security, while it's one of the three-legged stools of retirement, which is Social Security, employment pension, and employee pension, and personal savings, it alone is not enough to depend on. And so, I mean, that the Social Security benefits are not going to cover just even the basic costs, such as your everyday, you know, your food, your rent, healthcare, etc. The average, if you look at here, the average annual benefit is about $19,000, and in Idaho, the average people are spending about between $18,000 and $20,000 in just basic needs. We also know that there's some research done that if employees have access to a retirement savings plan at work, they are 15 times more likely to save for their retirement. And if they're 20 times more likely actually to save for retirement if it's an automatic deduction at the workplace. So a recent study by the Office of Performance Evaluation on retirement savings reported that 75% of food service workers, accommodation workers, agricultural workers, and real estate workers do not have access to a plan for retirement.
Lupe, I think we're still on the first screen. If you want to move your screens with your presentation.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Well, here on my screen, it's showing, I have no idea what's going on, but it's not moving along.
I don't think so. I think we're still on the first screen.
What are you seeing right now, Enrique? I'm sorry.
We're seeing the little pig with the coins coming in, the
You still
creating
have the little
retirement.
pig. Is it moving? No?
No, not yet.
Well,
But
then
sometimes Zoom freezes the.
yeah, and I think that's probably what it's done.
Okay. Yeah, just keep going. You're fine.
So, you know, looking at the demographics, 68% of the Latinos and 59% of Idaho workers aged 25 to 44 do not have retirement savings. And so the most unfortunate thing is that, you know, the younger the population is when they start saving for retirement, the more they benefit by the compounding interest. So we are involved in this because this is something that's, number one, it's good for Idaho small businesses. It'll strengthen Idaho small businesses, and it's also good for taxpayers. Right now, if employers have said that if they had something to offer their employees, it would help them in terms of their retention and make them more competitive. And also, what small businesses, a survey we did, also said that they would support for Idaho lawmakers to create a state facilitated retirement savings program. And we are actually, we just had a bill printed. We're pleased to report that we're getting closer to a solution. The Idaho House Business Committee just began to look at the issue, and in fact, on Monday, they voted to go ahead and print the bill, which is House Bill 180. And I know that we're a long way from victory, but this is a good start. At least we have the members of the legislature now starting to have a discussion on this very important issue. And of course, we really appreciate the fact that the Idaho Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is supporting. So I really look forward to working with all of you. I look forward to working with with anyone that would like to join us. The businesses out there, if anyone has any questions about what we are doing or want to discuss this further, I ask you to please give us a call. And I don't know that you can see my screen, but I've got my contact information up, which is, you can contact myself. And the person leading this work right now in my office is Francoise Cleveland, who is our Associate State Director on Advocacy. And she can be reached at fcleveland@aarp.org, or call us at, my number is 208-855-4001, and Francoise 208-855-4005. Enrique, again, I really want to thank you. I want to thank the Chamber for your support, for everything that you do. And I am truly hoping that we are able to move this work forward. If not, I'm hoping we can do something this year, but if not, I look forward to getting something at least next year. So with that, I thank you again. And I am sorry for the difficulties that my computer experienced.
No, you're fine. You're fine, Lupe. Thank you so much. We will make sure to get that information out to all of our attendees and our membership. So thank you so much. And but we'll give everybody your contact info.
And I will send you the information so you also can share it. Okay.
Yes, we will. You bet. Thank you so much. It's just a part of that virtual world we live in. So nothing to do on your end, Lupe. It's just our virtual climate. But I wanna. And so if you want to click on stop sharing.
I'm trying to, but it's
okay. It's probably frozen.
I'm frozen.
It's okay. Hey, I want to thank everybody once again. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors that help make this possible today. CAPED Credit Union, Select Health, Salter Health, Intermountain Healthcare, and AARP. Thank you so much for your information and your updates. To the mayors, thank you so much. Mayor Kling, Mayor Nancolis, Mayor McLean, and Mayor Simison. Thank you so much for your input, for taking time today to be here with us. We are truly grateful. I know it's a busy time of the year. It's always busy. And I'm sure you guys have a lot on your plate. So thank you for taking the time to be with us and to reach out to the Hispanic community and for everything you're doing in your cities. For all communities, not just the Hispanic community, but for all communities that you serve in your city. Margie Gonzalez, thank you so much once again for the report and the updates on our Hispanic community and the growth and the numbers. So that's very important to us. So to Todd, thank you. Tom, thank you very much as well. Lupe, thank you again for your information. I invite everybody to please take a minute and log into our website. The Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, you can see it. You can see our website at idahohcc.net. That's idahohcc.net to see all the up and coming events that we have still to come this year. And our updated website, we have a brand new website we're excited about, a fresh new look, a fresh new logo. So we're excited for everybody here and invite everybody to go into our website and take a look. We are having Café con Amigos every second Tuesday of the month. So it's like our Coffee Connect, right? Café con Amigos, which is also a great networking opportunity. We look forward to our Boise Fest and Latino Fest in the city of Boise. Hopefully, towards later in the year, hopefully we can have that live. And so yeah, fingers crossed. Along with other events, right? Our gala and our Dia de los Muertos, our golf tournaments. So look into our website and look at those events coming up and how you could be a part of them, and also for sponsorship opportunities. On behalf of our almost 200 members across the state, in the Treasure Valley, and all our partners and sponsors, on behalf of the Board of Trustees for the Chamber, the staff, we thank everybody. Thank you for your time today. We truly appreciate everybody. I think our admin, our intern, Carolina, wants to try to take a group picture. I'm not sure how that happens, but she's helping us with on the technology side. So I'll let her take it from here. We ended on time, so that's good.
Share my screen, Carolina.
So I will open it up for Carolina to try to take this group picture. I think she's trying to accomplish.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. You all did fantastic, amazing job. So now we're going to take a picture. So everyone, please, we're going to take two. We're going to do a smiling one, and we're also going to do a silly one, because why not? Okay. Ready? Okay. Everybody smile. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're gonna do a silly one. So everybody get your silly faces ready, okay? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
What's the difference between your silly face?
There has to be a difference. Okay, let me see that I got it. Let's double check. Awesome.
Wait, Carolina's an intern from Boise State University. We have all our admins be interns. Our previous intern was from NNU. So we want to continue that tradition to have interns from the local colleges be part of get some exposure through the Hispanic Chamber, and maybe even land an opportunity, right, with one of our partners or sponsors. So currently Carolina is our admin intern. She's doing a great job, and she is representing Boise State University.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you all for coming. You did amazing. And I got a couple of pictures, so I will be sending that out to you all so that we all have them, okay?
Thank you. And to everybody that asked questions, we will be forwarding the questions to the cities. I know there were some questions out there dedicated to specific city or the mayor. So we will get those out to those offices, and we promise we will get those questions answered, whether you hear back from us or directly from the mayors themselves or their office. So those questions are important. So thank you for those questions, and we will get them to the right people. Once again, thank you, everybody. We ended on time, 12:59 p.m. They say Hispanics are never on time, or they're always running late. But tell you what, we're going to change that, and we are on time and on schedule. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and thank you, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I can never leave these things.
Yeah, you gotta double click.
Is it double click?
Yeah, you gotta hit it and then it prompts you when you gotta hit it again. Leave meeting.